Welcome back, everyone, to IcePicks Fantasy Hockey. I'm your host, Nick Nightingale, and on tonight's episode, we're going to go over the best and worst value picks through the first 10 rounds. So let's hit the ice. All right, so let's just jump right into it. I'm going to go through every single round up to the 10th round. We're going to start off at round 1 and then just make our way up to the 10th. And I'm going to base everything off Yahoo ADP. It's pretty up to date right now, right before your draft, because it's October 1st. So people are starting to draft right now. And hopefully you guys have waited because of all these injuries that have been happening. There's been some crazy stuff happening in the NHL right now. Preseason's nuts. It's going to change up some of my picks. So I'll do my IcePicks, which is my high value best pick in each round. And then we're going to do my least valuable player in each round. And I'm going to explain why. It might be because of position, or it might just be, I think this guy's going to have a down year, maybe he had a career year last year, or his team looks worse. And I'll just give you a brief explanation of why I think each guy is my choice or not my choice. Each round's just going to be the top 10 through each round. So for example, round 1 will be ADP 1 to ADP 10. And then round 2 would be ADP 11 to ADP 20, and then so on and so forth from that point up to round 10. So it's going to be basically the top 100 players. I'm going to pick 10. Those will be my ice picks, and then 10 that we don't like. All right, so starting off with round 1, we got McDavid, McKinnon, Draisaitl, Kucherov, Makar, Kaprizov, Pasternak, Matthews, Hellebuck, and Brady Tkachuk. And my ice pick best value at ADP 4.3, like what a steal at 4.3 I think, is Nikita Kucherov. And this guy's just a beast. His floor is 100 points. He doesn't get injured. He's just an insane player. And being able to draft him 4th is insane. He should be top 3, right? I mean, all those guys, McDavid, McKinnon, Draisaitl, like they should all be in their position too. But Kucherov's always the guy on the outside when he should be the guy on the inside. Like he should be in the fight between McDavid, McKinnon, and Kucherov for top 3. So best value, if you're picking 4th, grab Kucherov for sure. And he might even drop down. Like maybe somebody picks Makar early, and then boom, now you got a superstar in the league who's underrated somehow. He's got the most points over the past 3 years. Like I feel like Kucherov's underrated. It's unfortunate, but he's the man. And for my least valuable pick, it seems kind of obvious, but it's going to be Connor Hellebuck. And it's just because he's a goalie, and goalies are crazy. You never know what's going to happen, right? Like Connor Hellebuck last year, unreal season, Hall of Fame season. That's what happens with goalies. Like it's Shesterkin. He had an unreal year, and then last year he's just garbage. Just absolute garbage. So you can't tell with goalies. So I don't suggest grabbing a goalie in the first round. Like Connor Hellebuck, second round for sure, but it's too hard to pass up on every single guy there. And his ADP is 9.1. So some people are drafting him 9th, some people are drafting him 10th. I guess it depends on your league, but I'm just basing off just the standard Yahoo draft. That's too high. Okay, and now for round 2, we got Rantanen, Quinn Hughes, Nylander, Eichel, Connor, Vasilevsky, Jack Hughes, Ottinger, Marner, and Bouchard. And this round's ADPs go from 10.3 to 19.3, so it's pretty consensus picks to be round 2 grabs. And my ice pick best value player for round 2 is Jack Hughes, and his ADP is 17.5. He is a top 10 player in the league, hands down. He just can't stay healthy, but maybe this is the year he finally does. That's the risk I'm willing to take on a guy like Jack Hughes. I'll drop a second round pick on him, like a late second round pick too. I will 100% pick him up because his upside is so high. Like, I feel like he could definitely get minimum 100 points this year as long as he can play like 75, 76-ish games. I can't see him playing 82 because he never has. But this is the year he's going off. He's young. He's just hitting his prime. The Devils team's unreal this year too. And this is the year you want to grab Hughes. He's a sleeper. He's undervalued. He's underrated right now. There's a good chance he stays healthy. So grab him if you can in the second round. And now for the lowest value pick of the second round, it's going to be Evan Bouchard. He's not the third best D-man to draft in fantasy. He's not even the fourth or fifth best D-man. So him going 20th, it's way too high. I'd be grabbing Dahlin, maybe even Werenski before Bouchard. They're both just more complete players, especially if you're in a bangers league. Werenski and Dahlin, they hit, they block, tons of shots. Bouchard gets a lot of shots too, but his peripherals aren't great after that. So I'm saying Bouchard, he's my least valuable pick in the second round. And speaking of Zach Werenski, he's going to lead us off into the third round. So Werenski, Reinhardt, Point, Dahlin, Forsberg, Panarin, Shesterkin, Miller, Gensel, and Blackwood. And their ADPs range from 21.2 to 31.9. So like I'm saying, these are pretty consensus guys. Not a huge variation in between players. And my round 3 ice pick best value player is Rasmus Dahlin. And I'm picking him just because the Yahoo ADP has him as the 5th best D-man. And he's not the 5th best D-man. He actually, in my opinion, is the 3rd best D-man. And him and Hughes actually might be interchangeable for 2nd best D-man. Makar, he runs his own show for D. He's by far the best D-man. With Quinn Hughes coming in at 2A, and I'd say 2B for Rasmus Dahlin, just because Dahlin does it all, where Hughes is just straight assists and points. He's not really doing much besides that. So he's getting you shots, he's getting you assists, he's getting you a couple goals, he's running that power play. But Dahlin does all that too, and he hits and he blocks. So that's a huge value guy at 25.4 ADP and being the 5th D-man off the board. And now for my least value pick. This feels like a cop-out because it's so easy to say a goalie in every single round, and I've already thrown a goalie right off the bat in the first round. But it's Mackenzie Blackwood, and I just worry about Colorado's goalie path because they've shown that they're happy to switch goalies up if one's running a little bit cold, right? So they might throw Wedgwood in, and he'll get a bunch of games, and they might even be a tandem. We don't even know this year. I know they were running with Blackwood by the end. Like I'm saying, same thing with Hellebuck. You have no idea with goalies what's going to happen. Anything can change. So Blackwood, he's my least value pick, and feels like a cop-out, but that's my choice. Off to round 4 we go. This round is a bit harder for me because this is the round where you don't have a standout player, and you also don't have, in round 4 anyways, there's not really a guy who's super low value, and I'm not going to cop out and grab a goalie this time because I don't think he's the least valuable guy. In round 4 we have Boldy, Robertson, Hedman, Tage Thompson, Bratt, Keller, Crosby, Morrissey, Bobrovsky, and Stützle. And my ice pick highest value player for round 4 is Jason Robertson. He's a great player. He's left wing, right wing, so he's awesome for that. He plays on the Stars, so he's going to be playing with some really good talent. He might play with Rantanen, and he's usually tied up with Hintz, right? So he's going to get you goals. He's going to have a good plus minus, and he's going to get you some decent shots. And he hasn't had the best couple years. I'd say he just has the highest ceiling out of all these guys. For my lowest value pick through the 4th round, it's going to be Josh Morrissey. I'm not picking him because he's a D-man. I'm more so picking him because I just can't see Winnipeg being the top team in the league again, going on the same kind of run where all their guys are having career years. It's just not going to happen with Morrissey. He's kind of aging up a bit too, right? And now we're rolling into round 5, and this is a very interesting round. This is going to be really fun to choose because we have a couple guys who are coming off great rookie years, and we're coming off a couple old geezers. So we got Celebrini and Hudson as the rookies. So they're coming into their sophomore year. This will be interesting for them. And then we got Ovi, who's coming off his goal-scoring Hall of Fame season. And we also have Roman Josi, right? So he's a former Norris-winning D-man, and maybe this is his year again. So to go through round 5, we got Ovechkin leading the front with Natchez, Weegar, Fox, Celebrini, Gustafsson, Josi, Hudson, Kempe, and Kemper falling behind to finish off round 5. And like I was saying, this is a really cool round to choose from just because we have a little bit of everything, right? So we're going to go with my high value ice pick best player in round 5, and it's going to be Martin Necas. This guy, he had an unreal season last year, and the majority of it he played with the Carolina Hurricanes. Now he's playing with Nathan MacKinnon. He had nothing in Carolina. Like, Aho's a great player, but not even comparable to Nathan MacKinnon. So he gets to play with MacKinnon, and he gets to play with Makar, and now he's basically filling Rantanen's spot. I expect him to go off for 90 to 100 points for sure, and being ADP 46.2, that's just a steal. That's just an absolute steal. This guy should almost be going like a 2nd round for sure. And then for my least valuable player, I feel like this one's just the most obvious choice. It's going to be Alex Ovechkin. He's going at ADP 45.5. That's the top of the 5th round. What do you say about him, right? He's old. I know he was unreal last year. He was fighting to get that goal record. But, after getting that, I just don't see the motivation for him anymore to go off and score 30, 40 goals, right? He's still going to get you some hits, but if you look over the last couple of years, he's been dropping off on all of his peripherals. I think he's going to cool off. This might be a little high to grab him. You would hope you'd get him lower, maybe 7th or 8th round just to get the value out of him, but he's too high of a pick for the top pick in the 5th round. So let's do a quick recap, just rounds 1 through 5. before we move on to 6 to 10. Top ice pick players, right? So most valuable players. Number 1 was Kucherov. Number 2 was Jack Hughes. Number 3 was Dahlin. Number 4 was Robertson. And number 5 was Natchez. For our least valuable players, for round 1 was Hellebuck. Round 2, Bouchard. Round 3, Blackwood. Round 4, Morrissey. And then round 5, Ovechkin. Okay, so let's move on. Round 6, we got Sider, Hagel, Suzuki, Hill, Bedard, Caulfield, Scheifele, Sanderson, Stolers, and Matthew Tkachuk. So I'd say so far this is the hardest round for me to pick the highest value player. I mean, there's a lot of good players here. Nobody's really jumping out at me, like punching me in the face saying like I'm by far the best. So I'm just going off with gut feeling, and I'm going to go with Nick Suzuki. His ADP is 54.4. Not a steal where he's at, but I just think he's the best player of that bunch. Montreal is on the up and up right now. They're a playoff team. They're going to do some serious damage. They're going to add Demidov for a full season, and I have him as my Calder pick right now. Suzuki, I would say, is my ice pick highest value, and then now for my lowest value, the most obvious answer is Matthew Tkachuk. He's out till about January. You can throw a swing at him right now, but I just don't see the value there. Like, you don't want to lose half your season right off the bat because you made a really bad choice in grabbing an injured guy. So unless you're in a shallow league where you're not too concerned with picking him up and throwing him on your IR, I'd probably avoid Matt Tkachuk unless you can snag him like 8th round, maybe 85th to 90th overall. Getting right into round 7, we have Sorokin, Theodore, Jarvis, Harley, Johnston, Aho, Chikrin, Barkov, Wolf, and Pedersen. I just want to say it right now. Barkov got injured. He's expected to miss the whole season and maybe be back for the playoffs, like if they make the playoffs. So I'm not going to include him in this because he'd be the most obvious low value guy here. So for my ice pick highest value player, it's going to be Shea Theodore for Vegas. He's a great D-man. He doesn't have any competition anymore trying to fight him and take his spot for power play 1. Pietrangelo's done. He is a great D-man to pick up. I'd say he's undervalued right now. So I would grab him. I'd be more than happy to get him. I'm just going to say right now, I lied to you guys. There's nobody I think in this round that is low value. So Alexander Barkov is going to be my low value pick. Sorry, you guys can, scream at me all you want, and you could message me and just say, why would you do that? But Barkov, don't grab him. I'd avoid him. I would not even pick him up at all. Okay, and for round 8, we have Robert Thomas, Logan Thompson, DeBrincat, Hamilton, Markstrom, Olmark, Sergachev, Dobson, Tavares, and Raymond. This round had an instant player that jumped out at me for my ice pick, high value, and it's Lucas Raymond for Detroit. I think he's massively underrated. I think this year he's really going to, open up. He's going to just launch off for so many points. DeBrincat's right there in the same round. So those two guys combined, I think Detroit is just going to be a great team this year, and I'd love to grab a couple Detroit players if I could. And then another guy jumped right out at me right off the bat for low value, and it's Noah Dobson. And I don't really know what he's going to do with Lane Hudson there in Montreal. So you just have to hope that Lane Hudson doesn't have a good year if you grab Dobson, right? But otherwise, he's going to be kind of more stuck on that 5-on-5. And I don't really see Montreal running with 3 forward, 2 D-men power play. Their second power play unit won't be as good as their first power play unit. Like, I would expect Suzuki, Caulfield, Demidov, Hudson to get the majority of the time. In round 9, we got Nyes, Ehlers, Kyrou, Heiskanen, Batherson, Larkin, Jones, Mishkov, Meyer, and Konechny. And this was a really hard one for me to pick an ice pick, like high value guy, because I have a couple here that I really like and I really want to grab. I'm just going to say the 3 that I really like and then I'll pick one. But Matthew Nyes, with no Marner there, I think that's just going to make him explode, and he has really good peripherals. And then my next guy is Drake Batherson. I love Drake Batherson. I think, if you're in a bangers league, he's one of the best guys you can grab at in kind of a mid-round. And then just for potential and ceiling alone, Mishkov, he is an unreal player. If you've never watched him play, you need to watch a couple Philly games. I mean, the rest of the team's boring, but Mishkov, he is a superstar in the making. Like, I see him being like a Kaprizov kind of player where he just goes off, like, maybe hopefully not injured, but he has that next level that a lot of players in the league don't have. So if I had to pick one of the 3, it's going to be Matt Nyes, and I think it's just because of the opportunity to play with Matthews nonstop this year. He'll be on a power play with Matthews and Nylander. So I really like him the most of those three, but there's three guys there that have a ton of value, and I would recommend any of those three guys. And unlike my high value ice picks, it was really easy to pick my lowest value guy here. It's Miro Heiskanen, just because Thomas Harley is going to be their guy for the power play. Real life, Miro Heiskanen's one of the better D-men in the league. Like, I'd say he's top 5 in the league. But fantasy-wise, he's just not very good because he doesn't do a lot of peripherals and he doesn't get a ton of points. And I don't think this year he's going to do much power play time. But in real life, like real NHL hockey, he's one of the best D-men you can have because he just positionally, he's so good, right? So he's just one of those guys that doesn't jump out on the score sheet and in fantasy, but in real life, he's great. So I would pass on Heiskanen. If you're desperate for D, grab him because his floor is very safe, but he has no ceiling. Like his floor and ceiling are just kind of like touching each other. And to wrap off our list today, we got round 10, which is Nichushkin, Hischier, Gunther, Marchenko, Binnington, Demko, McAvoy, Montour, Fiala, and Wilson. So for my ice pick, it was really hard to choose a guy because there's a couple guys I really like. So I'm just going to start off with saying I have an honorable mention for round 10. It's going to be Nico Hischier. I don't know why he's dropping so far down to 91.9 ADP. His pre-rank is 51st overall, and he's dropping down about 40 points, right? So he's dropping down about 40 positions. There's a good chance that Hischier matches what he did last year, especially if Jack Hughes can't stay healthy. He is in a very good position, and he's going to play with some really good players. Like him and Meyer are kind of tied to each other all the time, right? And he gets power play one time in New Jersey. He's my honorable mention. But my ice pick top value guy for round 10 is Dylan Gunther for the Utah Mammoth. I'm so high on this guy this year. At this late, he has the highest upside of any guy. And to top it off, he's a winger. He's not even a center. So he's going to be a position you need. You're not going to find a guy with this much upside this late in the draft, right? So for ADP of 93.7, he's a great pick. So I'd 100% recommend Gunther. And now to wrap this up, for my least valuable guy for round 10, it's Tom Wilson, and it's just easy to pick him because Washington's going to drop off. Wilson's getting old. Ovechkin's getting old. They play together. He probably has a pretty safe floor, but he has no upside. And I like in later rounds, I want to be grabbing guys that I think have really high ceilings. Like, I don't want to play it safe after about round 9-ish. I want to try to go for home runs every single time. Tom Wilson, he's a floor guy because he gets hits and pims, and I don't think he's going to be cranking out all the points and all the goals like he did last year. He could prove me wrong, but I'm just not seeing it this year. All right, so that was all 10 rounds. That's top 100 players, and I picked the best guys and the worst guys for you, so you don't even have to think anymore. We got Kucherov, Jack Hughes, Dahlin, Robertson, Natchez, Suzuki, Theodore, Raymond, Nyes, Gunther, and an honorable mention to Hischier for my ice picks, and that's rounds 1 through 10. And if I were you, I would avoid, and this isn't to say I would avoid these guys, but in every single round, I would avoid one guy, and it would be, to start it off, Hellebuck, Bouchard, Blackwood, Morrissey, Ovechkin, Matt Tkachuk, Barkov, Dobson, Heiskanen, and Wilson. All right, and that does it for today's episode. I just want to say thanks to everybody that's listening. I've been trying to do it weekly, but, life gets in the way. I have a couple fantasy drafts coming up, too, so I'd like to hear back from you guys. I want you guys to send in your teams, and I'll have a show dedicated to just going over everybody's teams, and maybe send me your stats of what your league's doing, too, and then, we can do a nice ranking for everybody, and then come back at the end of the season, go over a couple teams again, and just maybe laugh at ourselves for some horrible picks and maybe some bad trades, because I'm notorious for bad trades in my leagues. And if you have any comments or questions or anything, or you want to support the show, there's the link in the description, so hit me up anytime, and I'll try to get back to you. Thanks for listening, everybody, and I'll see you next week on IcePicks Fantasy Hockey.